on the parent function. First thing they ask us to do, read your directions, is use the table, there's your table, to sketch the graph of log of x. So there's our parent, so we're going to sketch it. So the first thing we do is we go to x equals 0 right here, and you notice that y is undefined. We don't have a value there. Then we go to x equals to 1, and we have y equals to 0. And then come over to x equals to 10, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that equals to 1. And what my function looks like is this. There's my parent. All right, so what we're going to do with this thing now is come back in. I'm going to sketch a graph results when the y values are multiplied by 3. So I'm going to do that one first. So my y values multiplied by 3, this will give me 0 and 3. Notice I'm not doing anything to the x's, just to the y's. So again, I come in now, I'm going to plot these points. So I still have 1, 0, and then I'm going to have 10. I see already, because the way my graph looks. Should be 0, 1, 0, 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1. Should be right there. So I'm going to plot, and it's undefined, so it comes down to here. I'm going to have this point here, and I'm going to go to 10, 1, 2, 3, and my new function now is going to look like this. Okay, so we've done this part. I multiplied it by 3. The last thing it says is we're going to translate it vertically 5 units, which means I'm going to take my red function and move everything up 5 units. So I'm going to take this point, it will go 1, 2, 3, 4. That point will go there. This one will come up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here are my 2 points. And there is my translated function. Okay, so what they ask us to do now in the bottom part of this is to write an equation of the graph. So if we pull out the notes, we had talked about this. What we're doing, first part, is I'm going to keep my y equals. So the first thing I noticed I did was I multiplied this, my y values, by 3. So it's going to be 3 times my function. F of x is my parent function, which is log of x. So there's my f of x. And I'm going to translate vertically, which means it will be outside my log function. And I went up 5 units, that will be plus 5. And there's the equation of our new y. This multiplies the y values originally by 3, and then moves them up 5 units. Okay, so let's go over and take a look at the second one. We've got a slightly different parent function here. Deal with the square root function. So first thing I'm going to do is plot my parent. So I've got 0, 0, which is this one. Then I've got 1, 1. And then I've got 4, 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. And then I've got 9, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3. And there is my parent for the square root function. Now you can see these look sort of similar. But one of the big differences here is, if you notice, this one stops at 1, and this one comes on through to 0. Okay, so there's my parent. Now let's see what they're asking us to do. The first thing we're going to do is when the parent function is reflected over the x-axis. Okay, so I'm going to reflect this thing over the x-axis. So what I do is I'm going to go 0, 0. Since I went up 1 here, I will go down 1 here. Okay, that gives me that point. And then I was up to here, I'm going to go down to here, down to here. And then I will end up with 9. This guy will be down here. So that's my reflected. Okay, now this one we've got to be careful. You've got an and part, so we're going to translate 4 units up, but only after every y value is multiplied by 0.2. Okay. And what they're talking about here, multiplying by 0.2, would be this guy here. No, you do this first. Sorry. And the first thing I want to do is multiply every y value. My parent stays the same. So first thing I need to do is multiply every y value in my parent function, because it tells us here, by 0.2. So this will be 0, 0.2, 0.4, and 0.6. So now I'm going to come in and graph these. Again, I've got 0, 0. And then I will have 1.2. Then I will have 4. Yeah. 0.4, not quite half. And this one will be over here. So as you can see, we have squished this thing down considerably. Okay, so I multiplied every y value in my parent function by 0.2. Okay. All right. So now that I've done that, and that is the after I've done all of these, that's the first thing I do. Now I go in and I do the after, which is that we're going to reflect over the x-axis with this thing. And we're going to reflect my transformed one, so that will be 0.2, 0.4, 0.6. So there's my reflected one. Okay. And now we're going to translate 4 units vertically. So I take every point that I have and move it up 4 units. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this one was a little bit below it, so I stay a little bit below. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 1. There's another one. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4. So, and let's do this in a slightly different color. No, I'll stick with the red for this one. So this is after I translated vertically and I've reflected. So this is my final function right here. As you can see, it was a multi-step process. I took this guy, which is my parent, right? I multiplied everything by 0.2, which squished it down. Then I reflected it over the x-axis, and then I moved it up 4. So this is our final daughter function. As you can see, if you can do these a piece at a time, it makes it much, much easier. So now let's write the equation of my graph. So we're going to come back in and got y equals. There's for my original. So the first thing I know that I did, and this tells me up here, is I multiplied all the y values by 0.2. It's going to be 0.2. And this was the square root function. That's what gave me my y value, so it's going to be 0.2 times the square root of x. All right. Now I also know, and I'm going to change this out. There's my parent, and there's my parent. Okay. So the multiplied by 0.2 goes out here. Okay, now we also reflected over the x-axis. So that's a negative out here. And then we translated this thing 4 units up. So that would be that one. And again, you notice I just took one piece at a time. Okay? So there's my parent. I multiplied it by 0.2. Then I reflected it, which is that one. And then I moved it 4 units vertically with that. Okay, page 2 is going to be your classwork. When you work on this, please have this out.